exploration. LA claimed to a great, happy, significant, formative, mischievous, explorative, huge piece of the better part of his life. Which means if he were here, speaking for me, he could say the same thing. I never visited this house when Mark was alive, unfortunately. It's a cute house. He always did have cute houses. He lived at this house. There's another cute house that he lived in. There used to be a not so substantial fence here before between the A-frame and my house. We climbed over often. It was our preferred way to get back and forth. So he would just show up at a back door or a window or something. A little tap. Then we'd go do something. Exploring, hanging out, shooting the shit. Who knows? This is the Corson's garage. There used to be a basketball hoop up here. Like my first day living right back here, my house. This is the house in between our houses. Kevin was playing basketball here, and I played a little bit of basketball with Kevin. So he was a nice kid and everything. He was tall for his age, but I learned that he had an older brother, who was Mark. I met Mark out here, and he and I played basketball, and it became kind of a thing. I learned that he lived over behind here, which here's the A-frame. The rest of the house is over the wall that way somewhere. Found out like what his weird house is like. Very cool house. His room, hung out in his room. I got to know him. He had a large monkey named Kong, who, when you walked up the cage, told you that if he wasn't in the cage, he would rip you to pieces. Until you scratched his back. Then he was cool. He would turn his back to you and just like, okay, that's good. That's good right there. I should probably be riding around downtown San Gabriel on a Stingray bicycle. Or a knockoff, because that's how we got around. We rode out to Monrovia one day to look at fish. And we took my dog with us because he started following us and we didn't want to take him back. I'm guessing it was maybe a 15-mile trip one way. Mark had an encyclopedic memory of San Gabriel. You could ask him anybody's name, any location, any street, and he would have it right at his fingertips. You know how Mark always had what he termed an infallible memory? It wasn't completely infallible. If you lived in San Gabriel and you were anywhere near our age, he knew who you were. He knew your name. He claimed he knew who I was before I moved up to the Coolidge area. And he watched me hit a Grand Slam home run at this field during the All-Star game. It's true, I did hit a Grand Slam home run during the All-Star game. When I first got to California, but I arrived mid-season, so they put me in the minor leagues. I played it at the other field at McKinley School, and that was where I hit a Grand Slam home run. At McKinley School, not here. He was a good talker. Why didn't we record everything that Mark said? We talked about life a lot. This is a week before. You guys are going to be seeing this a week from now. I wish I was there. So Mark had a way of collecting interesting people.
Hey, Mark.
Cool. I'm going to do one more take. Hey, Mark. A very smart guy. We were there for each other's high school years. He came up to visit me a lot during his senior year. His senior year when, by the way, he was kind of an alpha male at the high school, a football player and a guy who drove a Porsche to school, held court on senior court with his monologue and dialogues. There was a lot of people who would just hang around him to listen to the Mark Chakerian show. It was like an early version of a podcast. A lot of people just liked to listen to the way he talked and the way he described things. I had some regrets that I might have missed opportunities to change things. I had a conversation with Bob Rowe. That man is a hero. He did all of the things that I ran through my mind that I might have done if I'd been here. I probably wouldn't, but he was here, and he did do those things. So I feel comfort that somebody was looking after my friend and doing everything they could for him. I really appreciate Bob Rowe. I didn't know until I got a chance to really talk to him about this whole situation. He and I were always the opposite end of Mark's good friends, good old friends. But it's not like we connected directly. It was always sort of through Mark, which is fine. But now that we don't have Mark between us, we connected directly. And it was really pretty amazing. It's like we could kind of recreate part of Mark between us, which is what you're all here for today. You're all here to talk about your memories of Mark and to have those pieces that you own in your experience of him and kind of conjure those pieces up and share them and recreate kind of a simulacrum of Mark, kind of a hologram of Mark, by your words and your stories and your memories of who and what he was to you, who and what he was to all of us. We all have our own experience of Mark. I own a really special piece of Mark. Mark. Hey, Mark.